Come one, come all, come everybody. It's this week's Monkey Nut Punch podcast. As always on these podcasting journeys, how can I put it? I'm lumbered down by a man who's like a human anchor. Or was it beginning with a W? It's Keith. So hello, Keith. He's put himself on mute and he can't take himself off. Right, hang on a second. He's fine. Look, what it is oh no, Keith.
Yeah.
We can't hear you.
Yes, you can.
No, I can't hear a word you're saying.
Oh, funny.
I can hear you on one. You might be divvy plonk. Hello, everybody. It's this week's Monkey Nut Punch podcast. And apart from missing one just short ginger person who's been recalled to Santa's workshop because Christmas is kicking off, I've got Keith, who I can only describe as this.
I can hold it. Pull up! No, I'm all right.
And the reason I use that is we were playing a lot of No Man's Sky, and he got us in a fight the other day, a really big fight. The problem is that he was fine, but because the Sentinels, the space cops in No Man's Sky, don't like me very much, the moment I got into a fight, they turn up, and we had two factions plus the Sentinels trying to kill me and Keith. And it didn't work out too well. It was the first time I died in No Man's Sky from not from like standing around and just dying of thirst or whatever. Anyway, enough of the drivel. How are you doing, Keith?
I'm fine. How are we?
Could be better. I've got to go to work tomorrow, and I've got to and I've got stuff to do and this there and blah 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 blah. blah.
I've just got to do something because somebody's in the chat.
Hello, Dave.
Hello, Dave. So yes,
Never gets old.
Doesn't get old. Right. So this week we'll be talking about superhero news because we've got a lot of it, and some Pixar news to go along with it. We'll be talking about the Expanse. I'm going to say the expansion then. The Expanse, this new trailer. A lot of stuff to do with the PS5, and then we're going to wrap up Boys Season 2 because it's now finished. And then we'll finish off with a lovely What the story. So let's start with
Awesome.
movies. So, Benedict Cumberbatch. Benedict Cumberbatch is going to be Spider-Man's new mentor in Spider-Man 3. And it may have something to do with the Spider-Verse or the Multiverse of Madness or whatever the fuck it is in regards to this. So he'll be playing the thingy, and I don't know what's going on. Is this going to be a crossover with the Stephen Strange thing? Is this going to set up the Stephen Strange bit? I have no idea what's going on with this. All I know is that that's not Spider-Man is my first problem, and you know this, Keith, because it's my biggest complaint about the Disney version of Spider-Man, that he's not Spider-Man. Which is annoying. And as I said, they could have used the Miles Morales character in there instead, so they could have had some Spider-Man in there. But because of Iron Man's passing in Endgame, Parker needs a new mentor. And it's weird because Peter Parker in the comic books just got on with it on his own, didn't he? I'm not wrong in saying that. He used to go to the Fantastic Four for help because he didn't have the resources. But most of the time, he just knuckled down and got on with it himself. And that was the one thing I kind of admired about the character. He had a certain kind of level of resilience in what he did. It's an odd damn.
I mean, Peter Parker didn't really have a mentor other than Uncle Ben. But, no one knew he had the power, and he built his own web slingers. He created the sort of the persona of Spider-Man himself. Whereas in the Disney movies, he's, the suit was created by Tony Stark, which I get why some MCU fans like it because it's cool and it's Tony Stark. But really, Spider-Man created his own suit, created his own web slingers, created everything. And although the first movie and Civil War touches on that, the cool suit, the suit that we know as Spider-Man, was built by Tony Stark. Okay. At the end of the second film, he builds his own suit, but again, it's thanks to Stark Tech that he builds his suit, and that just, I understand why that doesn't ring true. I enjoyed the movies, but I get why Spider-Man purists get the ump with that.
Yes.
I do understand it. Hence the reason why we've never really had a major argument about it, because I do see your point of view.
My problem is that Spider-Man is the most recognizable superhero. Then it's Batman, and it's a very close tie between the two. And I'm talking like a gnat's whisker difference between the two.
Well, he's being compared to Marvel's Mickey Mouse, and he kind of is. Yeah, I like Tom Holland. I understand the creative decisions behind it. I just don't agree with them. I understand that they wanted to do something different because they wanted to go off in a different direction, because you obviously had the Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans, and then you had Andrew Garfield that went off in a different direction. They didn't just want to go over that, which I go back to my argument that if you believe all this, that Marvel's all woke and all that shit, why didn't they do Miles Morales when they had the perfect chance to, which would have made a hell of a lot of sense at the time? I said this at the time. Before this woke shit started, I said, why are they doing Peter Parker again? Why are they not doing Miles Morales? Because, this is the perfect chance to get a character that was written as black on the screen, and people will watch it and people will buy it. And it was because they were scared that a black person would not drive the income that Peter Parker would. And it's all about
right.
Yeah.
They're partially right.
Possibly,
how old is Spider-Man? He's what, 70? 70, 60?
Something like
like 60.
Something
like
like
60 to be generous. The character's 60 years old. That's a lot of brand recognition, isn't it? That is equivalent of Mickey Mouse.
But you had screen fatigue on the Peter Parker character. You'd got Tobey Maguire, and then very quickly afterwards you got Andrew Garfield, and then they were refreshing it again with Tom Holland. Whereas if they'd done Miles Morales, you could have still had a Spider-Man on the screen, but you could have had it done in a slightly thing. And look, Into the Spider-Verse worked. The animation worked, and the lead in that was Miles Morales. So I still think they missed a beat, and this is why I don't subscribe to all this woke bullshit in Hollywood, because it's fake. Because if they were sincere about it, they would have done it there and then. Because it made absolutely perfect sense to do it there and then. It just did.
On some other notes, we did report that it looks like Jamie Foxx is coming back last week for the role of Electro. And then you've got the other Spider-Man coming back too, which will be interesting.
Well, that's rumored, but this Benedict Cumberbatch.
I think Jamie Foxx is coming back. I think it is.
Oh no, he's confirmed. It's the other two that are not.
Cake hole, close cake hole. I have a theory I wish to postulate. Or anyway, the long and the short of it is I think that Benedict Cumberbatch's Multiverses of Madness Doctor Strange movie is going to be the equivalent of Captain America: Civil War. That's what I think, and I think this is going to be the lead into it. I think they're going to use this to lead you in to doing the Multiverse of Madness stuff. I think that's the route it's going down. If they're talking about Electro, and it looks like there was something there because Jamie Foxx was asked to take his thing down. Unless Jamie Foxx has another role, I hope to God it's not.
Well, he posed. It was supposedly fan art, but no, he is Electro. I think that's been confirmed by the studio. Just out of interest, what's coming first, Spider-Man 3? Because I know that Doctor Strange and the Infinite Multiverse, or whatever it was called, had a release date, but at the time when that was announced, Spider-Man 3 was still not on the cards because of the Disney Sony fallout. So do we know which is coming first?
I'm just bringing it up at the moment because they've got their phase 4. So it is. It's not in phase 4 because it's fucking Sony.
Well, but then it was meant to get a a release date. So I don't know. But I certainly think that the mere sort of presence of Doctor Strange in the Spider Universe, or in the Spider-Man movies, means that we are getting this Spider-Verse movie, which could be cool. This could be the best of the 3 Spider-Man movies if they do it right.
Yeah, I think I think they could do it, but they've, as I said, they've mashed up the Spider-Man characters.
Here's what I'm going to postulate a theory. By the end of this, Tom Holland will be gone and Miles Morales will be the Spider-Man of the MCU, because I bet you that's the deal that they've done in order to carry Spider-Man in the MCU, that Sony want Peter Parker back for whatever reason. So they were like, Marvel went, what can we use Miles Morales? Which
that's what I would have done. I would have licensed out Miles Morales to them and turned around, there's Miles Morales. Do what you need to do. And that would have fit.
I have a feeling that's exactly what they've done.
Yeah.
And because we already know that Miles Morales exists in the MCU because we saw his uncle in the first Spider-Man Marvel movie. And it was played by, what's his face, wasn't it? Glover.
Yes.
Yeah, Glover, who played him. So that's
yeah. I was going to say, sorry, you're breaking up a bit,
mate.
Am I breaking up? Yes, you're breaking up. It's I don't know if it's you or me. It might be me, because I said I've been having trouble with my internet all week, which isn't good. Anyway, let's swiftly move on to DC, because there's rumors that Wonder Woman 1984 is going straight to streaming this Christmas. Patty Jenkins released a statement saying, about the death of theatres and stuff, and how the movie industry needs theatres and bits. And she's absolutely correct. No cinema screens, no cinema goers, no cinematic experiences. Sorry. And she's completely right with that. And then we've got rumours that come around Christmas. I'm hoping if they do it, they release it Christmas Day, because I think I'd buy that for Christmas Day and watch that rather than fucking Doctor Who, which I'm sure will be on New Year's Day, given what's going on with filming and whatnot. And Warner Brothers are more likely to release it in the cinema than any other studios. Disney are playing coward, and they won't release anything in the cinemas to try and keep the cinemas going. But Warner Brothers seem to be pushing to try and keep the cinemas going, especially with Tenet. It's interesting in regards to that. I think that last bit. I think that it may be a marketing thing where the marketing people have put out things to see how people feel in regards to, is this something someone wants?
Here's another, sort of thing about how Hollywood is supposedly all caring and all this, then, and they absolutely aren't, because some of the studios are sitting on quite a lot of funds. Why are they not helping out the cinema chains, which literally show their movies? I do not believe that the premium on demand makes the same kind of money that a film in the cinemas would make, because you have all the rewatches. I'm a geek, I'm a nerd. I know that when I really fucking like a movie, I'll go and watch it 2-3 times in the cinema. And you do not get that rewatch on premium on demand. So I do not see it as viable. The Hollywood needs the fucking theaters. Why are they not helping him out? We're in a day and age where we've seen Cineworld and Odeon cinemas in the UK shutting down. Odeon further notice.
I think they're closing 33%. But there's rumours what they're planning on doing is some business bigwig has turned around and goes, why don't you just open up at weekends to save money? And they've gone, oh yeah, weekends. That's when people go to the cinema. And, I think that's a valid thing. The cinema near me has said they're not planning on closing or doing anything. They're going to try and weather the storm, which is great, because I love the cinema near me. It's a lovely little kind of niche kind of cinema that we've got. And it is a bit worrying. I would prefer it if they released Wonder Woman in November in the cinema and then put it on streaming in in December for Christmas. I think that would work. I think that way you can get as many people into the cinema as possible, and then you can get the on-demand stuff, but you can have the gap to make it significant, and at the same time, you get the best of both worlds. So why not do that?
Realistically, I don't understand why they're not just delaying. I do, as I said, I don't see the premium on-demand thing as a viable model, especially with films like Wonder Woman and Tenet. Tenet was you have to put that in cinema. But I think realistically, we are not going to see cinemas opening this year or into next year, not at least until there is some kind of resolution, should we say, to the beer bug, without using keywords that upset YouTube. But you know what I'm getting at. It's interesting that this week the Thai government's ploughed a load of money into Oxford, which is telling. Oxford University's vaccine, should we say. But I think that Hollywood's got a lot of mud on its face at the moment. I think this premium on demand thing was, I can understand why the cinema and the theaters have got upset about this. At the end of the day, it's a bit like the comic book shops, but even more so with the cinemas, because the cinemas are the thing that sell the products, and premium on demand will not make as much money. It's not like digital comics, where digital comics unfortunately do make a fair bit of money, not as much as the printed books, but they do reasonably well. For films like Trolls and kids movies, completely understand why premium on demand works, because you've got a load of kids stuck at fucking home, 20 quid, you can put them in front of that movie 3 times and the kids won't care. But for major Hollywood blockbusters, it isn't going to work, and this is why James Bond has been delayed. It's why Batman has, we're seeing all these delays, and I don't know. I take this with a pinch of salt. I think if DC do release this, and don't delay it, I think they're going to shoot themselves in the foot a bit. I think all the Hollywood.
I think if they don't release it, they won't have any cinemas to go into at the end of the day. Yeah, that's it. If they don't try and help keep the cinemas alive, there will be nothing for them to go back to. That's it. True. They would have burnt. It's just Disney have fucked the cinemas, because they want to have that big box office thing, but they have fucked the cinemas because they needed stuff to show. Even though I think that maybe showing some old classic films, because they were showing things like Star Wars: Empire Strikes Back recently, which was really annoying because I didn't have time to go and see it because of the way when it was on, and other films. There's loads of decent other films that you can put on. Seriously, I would do a monster movie marathon and have things like John Carpenter's The Thing, the 1980s version of The Blob. I'd actually probably do a monster movie marathon where you go through here's the monster movies from the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, and do 3 films in that, and you do it across the week. I will go and see that as long as you've got the timing right, so I'm not at work, because Empire Strikes Back was on 3 o'clock when I was at work, and I was just like, oh, for God's sake, if you'd made it 6, I might have been able to see it, but a little frustrated with that.
It's interesting you mentioned Disney. I think that this has shown up that Disney's almost too big, because out of all the companies that are getting harmed, out of all the studios that are getting the most harm, it is Disney, who are reportedly losing millions a day because so much money of their money is plowed into the parks and places like that. And I think this is where Disney's just become too big, and it's going to be very interesting once we've weathered the storm and we're out the other end of it, to see what Disney looks like, because I don't think it's going to look like what it does now. I don't see it. And even if it does, I don't know if it will survive like that, because if you believe the rumors, they're losing millions a day because of all of this, and you can only survive on that for a certain amount of time. Don't get me wrong, Disney had a few billion in the bank, but
I'll be honest,
not as much as
the park problem stems from California, because the one in Florida is open, so it's not making huge amounts of money, but it's paying for itself. Yeah, so as long as it's paying for itself, not much of an issue. Yeah, as long as you're breaking even and everything's going out, and you're, in the case of Disney, those massive fucking loans that they've got. And it's weird when Disney takes out a loan for $2 billion over 100 years. I find that incredible. I really do when I hear stuff like that. But the Disney park in California, thanks to Governor Gavin Newsom, or whatever his name is, the prick who is refusing to let things open up, and has, how can I put it, has done some stupid advising on uses of face coverings and whatnot, is keeping it locked down. And I know that how can I put it, those people in Hollywood who were quite tight with those politicians, they're going to have a massive falling out when this is all over. That Newsom's gone, and all the other kind of governors like that who have damaged their businesses will be gone, because they can be pious and assholes and kind of preach to people, but if they ain't got the money to do it and the resources, it's not going to happen, and that'll be their first port of call, is to sort that shit out.
I do agree. I don't know. Disney seem to be sort of using Disney Plus to show off a lot of movies at the moment, but I seriously think that's going to backfire on them. I really do.
I think they fucked up with Disney Plus. I think what they should have done, they should have split their service into two: the family-friendly service for the kids and bits, and then the adult service for that. And they could put all their adult stuff, because they got the Predator and Aliens license and everything, and put that on there. I would be putting as many fucking films on there. I would be cramming it up, and I would be saying, look, these are all the films that Netflix have got. Yeah, these are all the films that we've got bigger. We've got more than them. Come over to us and watch stuff. Here are the TV series. The amount of TV series is that Disney own the channel to, that they could be showing, are ridiculous, but they wouldn't fit on Disney Plus. So I don't know where to put all their eggs into that. They should have. It's the pasta sauce problem. Yeah, you heard about the pasta sauce problem?
I think I know what you're getting.
Yeah. Right. A guy was paid by some company to and it's not Dolmio, I know that, by some company to figure out what pasta sauce people wanted. Yeah, was it thick and chunky, or was it thin and spicy? Yeah, and he came back to him, and they said, "Okay, which one is it?" To which he replied, "Yes." I know. Well, because it's both. They want both. It's that simple. And we've also found that they also want mushrooms in there too. So they went out and they put 3 types of pasta sauce out, because you had people wanting that stuff. And it's a case in life like that for everyone, because not everyone thinks the same way, for God's sake. It drives me crazy to think that people do think that people will think the same way. It's really irritating and upsetting. But when it comes to streaming and stuff, having a streaming service for the family and having a streaming service which is for the adults kind of makes sense. I don't know if they own all like kind of things like Seinfeld or shit like that. Maybe that's NBC, not ABC. But they have all those programs they can put on there, and they can just release back catalogs. And if they're clever, they can pop them in and out of rotation on a quarterly basis and have people excited for stuff. And they can say, coming this week, do you remember this TV series? You loved it when it was on. Now you can watch the whole thing end to end for this quarter. And that go fantastic. But they don't think in those terms, because they're a bit they're dumb as fuck, I'll be honest with you. I don't get how they don't realize that there is people who want to watch and consume products outside that kind of family environment that Disney promote.
I think that Hollywood is getting some of its comeuppance because they've been so rich for so long that they've been able to push this anti-Trump agenda, which is what it's been. It's what it boils down to. For so long now, that when a pandemic comes along like this has come, and it's totally screwed over so many people, I think that they are reaping the rewards. And I don't feel sorry for Disney. I'm sorry. I don't feel sorry for Hollywood. I despise, as you know, regular viewers of ours and listeners will know, I despise these people. I really do, because I think they're the biggest fucking hypocrites on the planet, and so many of them can just go fuck themselves. I mean, and I mean it.
It's like kind of when it comes to Hollywood actors, I don't know what your politics are. I just want to enjoy watching it. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah,
I really don't. Yeah. The only people I want to know the politics are politicians.
Exactly. The job of an actor is to sell an illusion. I don't care what you think. You are there to entertain. That is your fucking job. Shut up and do your job.
Yeah,
that's it.
Just on a note, I'm a bit pissed off at The Rock because he came out and said he was voting for Joe Biden, and I don't care if he is voting for Joe Biden. I don't want to know who he's voting for. I don't want to know his political thing. Joe Biden is a creepy pedo as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, and if you want to, I'd rather have an orange arsehole than a creepy fucking pedo any day. And he should have been arrested for some of the shit that he's done on camera. Yeah, and that's the terrible thing. There seems to be, and that's pissing me off. As I said, I don't want to know your politics. I just want to enjoy you as a person and just leave it at that. Anyway, I don't like jazz. I'm a blues man. Blues is so much cooler than jazz. Jazz is for trendy trilby wearing ponces.
Yeah, but having just watched the trailer, it looks a bit like Inside Out, so it could be good. This film.
It's not like Inside Out. It shouldn't be about Inside Out. If you're doing it about jazz, it needs to be about the music. And unfortunately, I don't like jazz. If you did the story of Robert Johnson, Pixar-wise, you know the story of Robert Johnson, don't you?
What?
You never heard the story of Robert Johnson? Right, Robert Johnson was a musician. Yeah, he turns up to a music studio one day. This is the shrunk down version of it. Turned up to the music studio. They went, "You shit, fuck off. Never don't come across our doors again." Disappears. Comes back a year. Comes place in front of him. They go, "Oh my god, your fucking improvement's ridiculous." Okay, and then there's a story that he went down to the crossroads and made a deal with the devil. And he would help him tune his guitar and be the best blues player ever. And Robert Johnson's, I think, part of the 27 Club. Robert Johnson's much more interesting than any fucking jazz singer. All right, could just get pissed on absinthe in Paris or whatever.
But is this about souls? Because I watched it, and the character, the characters look a bit like Inside Out when I saw the trailer, and they're going up to about new souls that come down to I don't know. It looks a bit Inside Out like. But again, this is a prime example of here a Pixar movie. It's not like Trolls. Pixar movies are for everyone. You know, there's lots of people that go and see Pixar movies that don't have kids. I mean, me and them saw The Incredibles 2 at the cinema, and loved it. So again, the Pixar film should be seen in the cinema.
Just a note when it comes to Disney Plus, yeah. You do know that when Disney look at Disney Plus, they don't see say there's a family of four, yeah, family of four, $10 each to go and see a Marvel film, yeah. So they go and see a Marvel film, $10 each. But with the thingy, they're guaranteed 100. Say it's the $10 for the what do you call it, the streaming service too. They look at that as saying $120 versus the $40 they would have got for that one movie. So
but aren't they charging? They are charging extra.
Oh yeah,
it appears on.
And I know they're charging extra, but I'm just saying from their perspective, having that extra money. If this is a story of Robert Johnson and how he sold his soul to the devil, and then how he got it back, and then dies in a tragic accident. I think he got shot by a jilted lover or her boyfriend. That would be more interesting, but I don't know.
Don't think you can do that as a kids' movie.
You can do that as a kids' movie. You can do that as a kids' movie. Trust me. You can. That would be a great kids' movie. Trust me, that'd be fucking awesome. That story, Robert Johnson's a brilliant urban legend, and that's like not like a shit urban legend about the guy with the light bulbs up his ass in the ER. Yeah, we're talking about proper kind of. The only way he got good was to sell his soul to the devil. He didn't sell his soul to the devil. We know what he did, yeah? He went home and he practiced until his fingers bled day after day after day, and he had calluses like you wouldn't know what, and got his shit together, which is like a testament to hard work, which is still a good story there either way.
Yep, that's true.
But my dad was big on Robert Johnson and blues players, and that's where I learned that from, and it was good. So I'll just get this one sorted. So we've got Mr. Patterson. Mr. Patterson.
Is he back? Is he back?
Is he back?
Right. Is he suitably de-beer bugged?
Well, apparently that was a lie. I'm not using enemy again for fucking news sources because there's so many bloody pop-ups and shit on it. At least it hasn't got earwax though. Warner Brothers are delaying The Batman until 2022. And we probably won't care about it by the time it comes out. It'll be like New Mutants. I think it'd probably be shit, given that. My gut now tells me if you're delaying it that far and you're not saying production issues, It's a shit film.
I think they delayed it by a year because it was meant to be coming out towards the 2021. It was never meant to be coming out. So I think they've delayed it by a year, but maybe I don't know.
This is a weird one because there've been like rumors and reports and stuff swirling around that Patterson threw a fucking temper tantrum, and there's been a pain in the ass, and he won't work out, so he looks like skinny, scrawny model playing Batman rather than bulked out Batman. The long and short of it is, if you're being paid millions of dollars to play a role, if I was being paid millions of dollars to do a role, I would fucking hire a personal trainer and work the fuck out, because that's what they're expecting and that's what they've paid for. Little annoying because it's like, oh no, what's his much didn't do that? Yeah, but he didn't get paid as fucking much as you. That's it. Seriously, you're getting paid more than him to do this film. And then there's things saying that they've cancelled it, and the reason it's going back to 2022 is that they've got problems with him. They're thinking about cancelling it. They're moving stuff around. The cancellation one's a weird one because the cancellation rumor has come from them having to stop filming due to storm conditions here in the UK. We had a storm a couple of weeks back, hit the country, and kind of cocked a load of stuff up. So that's delayed the shooting schedule. But what this guy called Mr. H said that one of his friends who is on set says that all they've done is just delayed it 2 weeks. And he says if it goes filming past the end of October, then the film's on. If it doesn't, then the film's been cancelled. So he's waiting for that to happen to find if the shooting schedule's been cancelled. But when it comes to this, if he is being a pain in the ass, but there's two types of pain in the asses. Yeah, there's the pain in the ass who is the perfectionist. Yeah, so that's your Ed Harris, your James Camerons, Christian Bale types. Yeah, where they want to get it perfect, and they have a squinny because they can't get it perfect. All right, the perfectionists, they're irritating bastards, and you know it when you work with them. All right, because you don't, not just the movie industry suffers from these people. And then there's just the prima donna assholes on set who throw squinnies because they haven't got enough fucking brown M&Ms to fill a brandy glass. Yeah, that sort of shit. And Patterson sounds like the prima donna rather than the Christian Bale or the perfectionist kind of actor. Because he would have worked out if he was a perfectionist kind of actor, which is worrying. It was really, really worrying.
Well, I didn't like his look as Bruce Wayne in the trailer. We called him emo Batman. I'm far more looking forward to Keaton coming back as Bruce Wayne in the Flash movie. But I was never that interested in the Batman. This news didn't really bother me that much. I was more bothered about James Bond, and we all know how I feel about that. So no, don't.
It's annoying because at the moment Warner Brothers with their DC films and whatnot have the opportunity to overtake Marvel. Marvel have lost the plot. They have literally ended their own Marvel Cinematic Universe. We had an epilogue with Spider-Man, and we were supposed to get one with Black Widow, but that's passed. And I'll be honest with you, she'll be dead 2 years by the time we get to see her. That Black Widow film should have been where the Captain Marvel film was, and the Captain Marvel film should be where the Black Widow film was. Because if we'd got to know her before she died, we would have gone, oh. Yeah.
The more I watch Endgame, the more it's got problems, and I don't think it's the celebration of the end of the MCU. I think it was very badly done. I think this 5-year gap in the MCU was just ridiculous. It broke Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., no matter how hard they try and argue this, was following the MCU up until they did that 5-year time jump. It's like, well, what do we do with that? It just made absolutely no fucking sense. I know that I slated Infinity War at the time it came out, but that's because I was going through something at the time, and I found it depressing back then. Now that I watch Infinity War, I think that was a particularly good movie. It was brave. It had a very good, brave ending, and then they followed it up with Endgame that just doesn't pass the test of time. Infinity War does, but Endgame.
I think when it comes to Endgame, he shouldn't have gone Iron Man. I'm Iron Man. He should have gone Undo. Control Z. And it just goes. And that way you could have kept Thanos in the universe at the same time too.
Yeah. If they'd done that, if they had undone the 5-year time jump, that would have made sense. But they didn't. They kept it, and that's what didn't make any sense. I just it doesn't work for me. Endgame, it really doesn't. Don't get me wrong. There's awesome moments in it. I love the Captain America picking up the hammer. I love there's elements in there that I love, but as a film, it does not work. Whereas Infinity War does, and I take back what I said. And I know that you were pissed at me at the time for it, but we all understand why. So, but no, Infinity War's good. I watched that recently and then watched Endgame again. It's just Endgame just pisses me off now. But I don't know. I'd like to look forward to the MCU films. I miss looking forward to MCU films. But yes, I've just got this feeling that Kevin Feige has been bashed around the head with the woke stick, and he's gone batshit bonkers crazy. I can't even get that excited about this Disney Plus TV series, although some news coming up did slightly get me interested. But no, but I can't get the trouble is these days, and it's really depressing because we talk about there's a lot that I can't get that I would have got 5 years ago. I would have been fucking jumping at the and so much of it now I can't get excited about. But there is, there's still some again, we've got some more stuff coming up in the TV news that I was just going like that when I saw that the other day. So we're talking about it, and I literally
there's one
I was
thing in the
fucking
TV news.
drooling at that.
There's one thing in the
I
TV
was
news
drooling
that
at that.
I'm really excited for.
Yeah. So there is some.
All right. So last
thing.
last bit of the movie news. Rumors continue to circulate that Keanu Reeves would be Ghost Rider. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not. I think the Nicolas Cage Ghost Rider put me off Ghost Rider. As a kid during the 90s, Ghost Rider was quite an exciting concept, but as I grew up, it just made me go, yeah.
It's funny. You should read the article because somebody indicated, we thought he was coming back as Constantine. Wrong universe.
God, yeah.
Wrong universe. Again, MCU, but then I like Keanu Reeves. Don't care. I know he's not the greatest actor in the world. I just like Keanu Reeves because in real life, he sounds like a really good guy. And I like Keanu Reeves. I like how he recently starred in that quirky sort of Asian comedy movie on Netflix, where he really takes the piss out of himself, and it takes somebody with a bit of self-awareness that a lot of Hollywood actors don't have to take the piss out of yourself the way he did in that film, and I just think he's a good guy. So, and Ghost Rider was better in the Agents of Shield. So, Keanu Reeves as Ghost Rider could work. Well, it got better. It did get better, it was watchable to what it was. The last two seasons were pretty good. But I liked Ghost Rider in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I thought, okay, that could be an interesting character. So Keanu Reeves' Ghost Rider could be good, but then it's MCU at the moment, and that doesn't look so good at the moment. So not sure. Not sure.
Okay. I thought that was the last story, but we've got just one more. And it involves a complete arsehole. So you can see the screen here, and in the top corner, you can't see my mouse, but in the top corner, the top right corner here, is the actor Rick Moranis. And Rick Moranis is about to be, oh, there he is, punched by a stranger. This guy here is an arsehole. He's an absolute fucking arsehole.
But why?
Okay. This is I'm going to sound like I'm being a bit prejudiced here, but in the black community in the States, they have what they lovingly refer to as the knockout game. And the knockout game is you just run up to a stranger and knock them out, which if you sucker punch the fucker. And I think that's what the guy was doing. Or he's just an arsehole. That could be the thing
But
there.
out of all of the Hollywood sort of celebrities and stuff, Rick Moranis, I don't get it. I mean, the guy hasn't been on TV. I mean, did he think Honey, I Shrunk the Kids was that bad?
I don't think he saw him as an actor. I think he just saw him as some random guy that he could punch.
What an arsehole.
Yeah. That's what I think he saw.
Because, I mean, out of all of the sort of Hollywood people, Rick Moranis least deserves it. I mean, you look at the guy, he gave up his career to bring up his kids after his wife died. I mean, the guy's a fucking saint.
But I'm not talking about this because they did this. This happens to people all the time.
Yeah, I know.
In New York and California, I haven't heard of it happening outside out of that. It may be, but all the stories I've heard of, like the knockout game, as they lovingly call it. This is not a knockdown ginger where you knock on a door and run away. This is you punching someone. And if you punch them and they fall over and they crack their head, you've killed them. And you intended to punch them. That means that's fucking intentional.
But there's so many stupid things at the moment. Social media doesn't help. These TikTok fucking stupid things that people do. It's just all ridiculous.
It's fucking Tide Pods all over again.
Fuck this guy. And yeah, I hope they catch him and fucking put him in jail and throw away the fucking key, dickhead.
Okay.
Now, I insist that you read this exactly as I wrote it.
Hang on a second. Right, we're going to wait for a second because we have to. Right, hang on a second. Samuel Mother in Johnson to star in in Nick Fury Disney Plus TV series. You misspelled series wrong. It's got fucking auto thing on it. All right,
it's
not
confirmed,
Johnson, but heavily rumored.
Jackson.
Get these motherfucking superheroes off his motherfucking plane.
What fucking plane? This is the one thing when I saw this the other day, I went kind of like I slightly meerkatted at this because I thought, oh. I don't know. It's probably going to be shit, but I like Nick Fury. I've always liked Nick Fury. I've always liked him in everything. I want to see it. I know that Nigel, although he's not here, will potentially feel the same way. I'm slightly interested about this. Slightly.
What is it? Nick Fury and the Agents of S.W.O.R.D.?
No, I think it's just going to be like a Nick Fury doing Nick Fury stuff, and I don't know. It could be Nick Fury.
Jackson turns to me and goes, "What the fuck do you want to watch me? I haven't got superhero powers."
Yeah, but he's Samuel motherfucking Jackson. The man just fucking sweats cool. I know I'm partially up for it, but I suspect it'll be shit and a letdown because Marvel and Disney, but still kind of up for it.
You chimped out, I think is the word we say.
No, I didn't. Not quite like I usually do.
Chimpy thing where you go.
No, I didn't. Not quite. The only thing that I've chimped out about recently was what's about to come. But this I didn't. But it did.
So,
I meerkatted. I meerkatted. I was like, okay.
All right, fair enough. And then we've got.
This just fucking makes me laugh.
Right, so we got fucking the most fabulous character in existence, Michael fucking Burnham.
God, have you seen her recently? Was it New York Comic Con or a fucking virtual Comic Con? They did another one of these cast movies, which got like 9,000 views, by the way.
Oh dear.
She's got purple hair.
It's a warning, that isn't it? It's like snakes and insects that colour themselves so they don't get eaten.
Anyway, sorry,
okay,
I interrupted.
Okay, so let's just look through this. So, ratings-wise, and I'm assuming this must be the Nielsen ratings. It got 0.2. Batwoman, I believe, got 0.8. 6, and Doctor Who, I believe, got 1 point something for the last episode, and this got 0.2. Oh, and that's in the States for Doctor Who too, and that's the worst fucking ratings.
And that's an average across the entire season 1 of Discovery, which was shown on CBS. And this is CBS, the TV channel, not CBS All Access, because they had fuck all in their schedule. So they started putting out all of their CBS things to just put stuff on to keep the advertisers happy, and it got 0.2. Coincidentally, all these people that are saying that it's gearing up for a fucking full season, they had the perfect opportunity to announce it this week, and they didn't. Not only that, they had to start fucking tinkering with the likes on the YouTube videos because nobody likes it.
Well, I can believe that for a fact. This is what I refer to as how can I put it? It's like minority Star Trek. It's probably the best way of describing it. It's like it's aiming not or maybe that's a derogatory way of putting it, but it's aimed at minorities, and they wonder why it doesn't have a majority TV share. Aim at the majority, get a majority TV share. Aim at minorities, get a minority TV share. Because you've got the misconception that it carries a Star Trek label and people will just eat it up, but it's not. It's not Star Trek. Star Trek is supposed to be right. Star Trek is the opposite of Aliens. Yeah. Aliens, yeah, it's the future. Shit's dark, shit's dangerous. People are horrible to each other. They're fucking each other for a goddamn percentage, if you remember that line. But Star Trek's not like that. Star Trek is the complete opposite. It's not run by corporations. You don't have to go to fucking sleep to do this. You're not being paid for mine. Thing is, you're not worried about your wages and shit like that. You're trying to sort stuff out.
Here's a prime example of why we know that it's not doing well. You know, you've got all these fucking people on YouTube that love this show, Kowalski, who likes proving all the fucking people are wrong. Here's why you're wrong, right? Netflix, I watch fucking tons of sci-fi, right? I do. And Netflix knows it. Netflix, after about fucking however many years I've been subbing, knows what I watch, right? This comes in 2 weeks' time to Netflix, right? Usually around this point in time, if Netflix is about to launch a sci-fi show, it fucking starts hammering my fucking Netflix, you know, coming soon thing on the phone or on the iPad. It will start showing me trailers. It'll start reminding me. I'll get all these fucking tweets. Fuck all about this show has come.
Well,
absolutely fuck all.
That was the same with the second season.
This is why I know that Netflix don't give a shit about this show. Right? They don't. And if they don't give a shit about this show, it means no one's watching it. So it doesn't matter how many times you see all these pricks on YouTube saying that, oh, it's a good show, and it's just a minority that hate it. Oh, it's the misogynists that hate it. No, it's fucking not. The evidence is there. It's clear for anyone to see. This show is a pile of fucking garbage, and it's the minority that like it, not that don't like it. It is a piece of fucking trash. I do not know why it's still on. I do not know how it got a third season, except it's got to be contractual. It has to be. It has to be that this would have cost CBS more fucking money to cancel it than make it.
Did you hear about the end?
I've heard that it's all fucked up. I've heard that they
hang on a second.
reshoots.
This is the beautiful thing. I hope this is true because I really want to see what the end's like. They filmed the end, yeah. They put it together in the editing suite and realized it didn't make any fucking sense. So they went to go back and film it and then realized they destroyed all the sets.
That's why they rebuilt the sets.
Bits of it.
So all this rumors about them fucking shooting and filming season 4, it's not. It's reshoots. That's because again, the people going, "Oh, you're wrong. Season 4 starting," and there are all these fucking pictures of Star Trek Discovery crew go this way and everything. Look, this is proof they've hit. No, mate, it's reshoots for season 3 because season 3 is part of fucking donkey droppings. And if they're going to put something out, it at least has to make some sense. I mean, season 2 barely made any sense.
Okay, before we move on to what I'm really looking forward to, and I will pick bits apart and upset some people. The Tilly character in Discovery first season, first season she was okay in the first season,
likable.
Yeah? And then second season, they made her fucking horrible. Yeah?
Yep.
they had that thing where she was doing the running around the thing. She didn't fucking do the same.
Oh,
as the other cadets.
they just made.
That
They're not
pissed-
even fucking trying though. That's the
that
thing.
bit pissed me off. But here's the funny thing: is I think the actress doesn't like her character because she didn't seem to give a fuck when doing these broadcasts and bits. You see her, and she's like, "It's a job; it pays the bills."
But
I
then
think she
so
liked the
was
character to start with.
so was Anson Mount, and unfortunately, the two best things about Discovery season 2 were Anson Mount and what's his face as Dangly. What's his face? And those are the only two interesting characters in Discovery. The rest of it's a pile of shit. I mean, you could have done something. You could have made the gay characters interesting, but you didn't because all you cared about was going, look, we've got gay characters, and they were shit. And Anthony Rapp could have made an interesting character. But no.
Anthony Rapp started off as an interesting character because he could have been he's a pissed off genius because no one fucking understands him, and that would work. Apart from somehow using mushrooms to move around the universe. Which still doesn't make any fucking sense.
They threw in so many cliches, even in the first episode that he turned up in. They threw so many fucking cliches. This is written by people that want to be woke and just don't. They don't understand it. They're the fucking most obnoxious, hateful people on the planet, and it comes through. I mean, you just have to watch that Star Trek mini thing with that obnoxious bitch of a captain. It's so obnoxious. It's so disgustingly hateful. And yet she's seen as the good character. And the Reg Barkley style character is killed at the end of it. And we are somehow this shows how obnoxious and horrible and disgusting these people really are. It really does. They are hateful pricks.
Let's move on to something a bit nicer, shall we say?
Yay!
Something that I've been looking forward to, The Expanse. I'm gonna. All right.
I chimped on this. I'm not gonna lie. I was sitting there. I walked into the bathroom as I do every morning, and I got this new thing came up, Expanse season 5 trailer. I was going, oh.
Yeah, I got my Google alert telling me that it was coming up. So this is the supreme arsehole for 2 books, Nemesis Games of Babylon Ashes. His name's Marcos Inaros. And he is Naomi's ex-boyfriend and father to, I can't remember, Philip Inaros, who is her son. She mentioned him in the previous series, and you can clearly see, because Holden knows too, because she told him that they ain't happy. The special effects for some of these things look pretty good. Now, in the Expanse, there's a problem because of the gates opening up. Earth is overpopulated. There's 10 billion people on Earth, and 7 billion of those are on a thing called basic, which means they just get their food and clothing taken care of and some shelter. And Bobby came across that in one of the series where they keep thinking that the humans are scroungers, but they don't have the opportunity to go forward unless they use a thing called the lottery. And that's what Amos won, apparently, to get into space, which was also brought up in the Abaddon Gate part of the series. Now, those people want to work, they want opportunities and whatnot, and the gates offer them the opportunities. So they can then go off and populate the universe, which is fantastic. And now, next problem is Mars. Mars, we're trying to terraform Mars and turn it into a livable world. And Mars, how can I put it? That's not going to happen to Mars. Why do that all that effort to Mars when you can just fuck off to another pre-made, pre-done planet somewhere and just survive there? So they've got a problem with that. And then you've got the Belters. And this is where Marcos Inaros comes in, because the Belters were providing resources to Earth and Mars. So they're providing resources to Mars by mining the asteroid field and helping them terraform the planet, and Earth to help support those 10 billion people. They're not as needed as much now as they were beforehand, because they can go to other star systems and get minerals easily in gravity worlds. So you've got that aspect of it, which I'm kind of looking forward to. And they can't go planet side.
And well, yeah, but the Belters that did kind of try to were fucking treated like shit, as you saw in the last season of it. Hang on
a second. There's a difference between Belters and the OPA people, because the OPA people can be people who come from places like Ganymede and stuff, where they are born in a gravity well, and then you've got people who are born in places like Palace Station and what was Ceres Station and Eros, where they weren't brought up in proper gravity.
Yeah, but the
and
TV
they don't
series
have their bodies won't support them in 1G or close to 1G.
although the first season showed us a proper belter look like, where it was a CGI character mainly, who was all lanky and long and 7 foot tall, the TV series hasn't really been able to afford until the fourth season really to show us what belters really look like, because in the books it describes belters as long and lanky. You see that when you see Avasarala sort of doing what was she questioning one of them, wasn't she?
Yes.
But then you don't really see the belters again looking like that.
You do see the belters. They're all pretty much on series station.
Yeah, but they didn't go to the levels that you saw in that guy.
You had what's his Mrs. partner? I can't remember his name because of H. He fell in love with a belter girl and she was like fucking 6'4" and lanky. You had the guy in the pawn shop who was talking to Miller. Sorry, that was his name. Miller, and he again was that. And then the guy at the docking yards on Eros 2 was this massively tall, lanky person, because that's what they're supposed to be like, because of the lack of lack of gravity.
But season 5 got more budget than the entire first 3 seasons of this show. So I'm fucking so looking forward to this. This looks so good. This is what does this end with Earth getting fucked?
No, it starts with Earth getting fucked. That's
okay.
the opening to it. Is Earth getting fucked? What it is the Martians have made a deal with what they call the Free Navy. And they've provided them with pretty much half the Martian fleet.
Oh yeah, we were seeing that at the end of season 4. I've got to go back and
painting the rocks with stealth paint, so they couldn't pick up on it. So, yeah, they've provided that. So they've painted a ton of these rocks and they're lobbing them at Earth. And I think Naomi sorts this shit out, but it takes a while. This here, I believe, what you're looking. See these ships here? All flying by. That's the remainder of the Martian fleet who will become the Laconians later on, which will be interesting. So they fuck off. There's the rock being fucking hurtled around the sun. Right. This is the season where we say goodbye to Fred Johnson.
Is it though? Because although it is in the books, do you think they're going to do it in?
Right. All right. Okay. In the last series on Sci-Fi, when they were inside the ring space. And you had the bit with the lift. Drummer was supposed to, the character who Drummer was playing was supposed to die in that thing with the lift, so they could, Naomi and Holden could get to the bridge and take it back from Ashford. They faked you out. If you read the books and you watched it, they faked you out, with it. But Fred Johnson does die in the books, but I think they've changed the way he dies. And I think I don't know when they're going to do it. It's probably for the end of the season. I like the Fred Johnson character. He's just kind of seems kind of tuned in and whatnot. And then you've got there's Amos there. And Amos is he's going to be back in Bolton. Bolton.
Yes, I know.
Baltimore, not Bolton. It's going up north.
They're sending it. Yeah, it's going Bolton. Oh, hey, they are doing the Baltimore storyline.
Yeah, they are doing the Baltimore story. And I know that because there's a bit where I said to Tanith, I said, the bastard steals a couple of bikes in the story. So him and Clarissa could get to safety. So you've got him asking to go back to Earth and whatnot, and he goes back to Baltimore. I keep wanting to say Bolton. And it looks like the OPA are trying to drag up ships to fight the Free Navy with. So it looks like Fred Johnson's probably trying to put shit together with that.
The best thing and worst thing. It's the best thing for the show. It's the worst thing for me because I'm just going to want to watch the whole fucking thing when it comes out. Is they're following the boys' release model. Given
the lack of quality current material, I'm up for that. If we were drowning in shit, then I wouldn't be that bothered.
I understand it. I agree with it. I'm going to be chomping at the bit every week to watch it. That's the only thing, which is a bad thing and a good thing. It's a bad thing for me, but it is a good thing in the same respect. And I completely understand it.
That's the bit where they steal the bikes.
Yeah,
it's really important that remember that.
I know that you've analyzed. You've watched this trailer about 5,000
I've watched this trailer too. So there's a big prison outside Baltimore where Clarissa Mao and I don't think her father's being kept there, but she's been kept there, and Amos is going to visit her. Yeah, so he's going to visit her, and she's got she's got problems because of the implant that she put in. So when she had this implant that would give her like super strength and a burst of it, so she could beat the shit out of someone quickly, that causes issues because it's designed for people who go on suicide missions and isn't supposed to be there long term. So Amos becomes like a keeper. He looks after her, and she replays him by fucking doing some, something pretty cool later. So this is them fighting in the prison and trying to get her out, which looks quite cool. I believe. Don't hold me to that. It was nice. You managed to be head of the UN for a period of time until someone drops a rock on you.
Yes, because Ava Severula isn't.
Yeah. Oh, well,
she lost the election.
Yes, so that person who she lost the election to is going to die, and then Ava Severula is going to be put in charge.
Yeah, because she. Yeah, I remember that. I forgot that.
Yeah, and then there's them dropping rocks on Earth, and we've got all this other stuff going on here, and I want to get to. All right, hang on a second. Where is it? Come on. So we've got all this cool stuff here. They're doing raids and stuff, and Marcus and Absolutely. I just want to point out that they hired someone who looks like a complete bastard. I think it's great because when he dies, and I know how I hope he dies in the way I think he does. When he dies, I'm going to be like cheering, go, yeah, he's the equivalent. He's the Expanse equivalent of Joffrey.
Yeah,
that's the best way of describing him.
Oh yeah, but he was, and you saw that towards the end of season 4. He's an asshole, and he's turned the sun against it. No, well, I can't fucking wait. And we've got a release date. We've got a fucking release date.
Yes, we have got a release date.
So, God, it looks so good.
So, just like to point out one thing. All right, you've got Bobby and Alex in the Razorback. Yeah. This is quite funny because in the story, Bobby's talking to Alex and saying, "We've got to get off world." He goes, "Got to find a ship." And he turns around and goes, "Well, I've got a ship." Because what do you mean you got a ship? I've got the Razorback. Avasarala gave it to me because she didn't know what to do with the fucking thing after he impounded it. So I've had this ship for the last God knows how long. I don't know how to fly it down. I mean, sorry, I do know how to fly it, but I don't know how to fly it because it's a racing ship.
Yeah.
So we've got the Razorback, and they're going to be chased by the Free Navy, which will be weird. And then
I'm looking forward to the Bobby and Alex team up.
Bobby and Alex is going to be good because in the story, Bobby checks up on Alex's family for him.
But I like Bobby in the TV. I like Bobby in the TV series. The actress that plays is really good, and I like Bobby. The thing is, right here is I say this and I say it again. My favorite characters in this TV show are women. I fucking love Ava.
Amos too. Come on,
Amos I love Amos.
What about Ashford? Ashford's a fantastic character.
No, I love Amos. Yeah, but Ashford's died. And I loved him. But he was one of my favorite characters. Didn't like him that much in season 3 until the end. Fucking loved him in season 4. But I fucking adore Avasarala. I just fucking love her because she swears like a fucking trooper, and I love her. I know she bugs the shit out of Nige, but I love her. I like Bobby a lot.
He does seem to be. He does seem to be over that thing with Avasarala.
I love Bobby. I liked what's his face. I like Fred Johnson as well, kind of.
I like Fred. Fred in the books is nicer.
I like Amos. Yes, he's a scary fucker, but he means well. I like Amos. What's her face? Naomi pissed me off in season 2 and 3 a lot because she just kind of expected after what she did, she kind of expected everybody to just stop giving her shit. It's like, no, you fucking deserved it.
What she did, hang on a second, I just want to point out what she did in that series there has consequences in this series.
Oh no, I know, and it's going to come back and bite her. But Naomi kind of redeemed herself in season 4. But some of the characters that you just, Holden, I like Holden, I like him, but he's always morose and stuff. He's not my favorite character.
No, he's not.
Avasarala just makes
story along in
she just makes me smile every time she tells someone to fuck off. I just love it. She doesn't. Unlike her in the respect that I don't mince my words. At work, I don't fucking bother with if something pisses me off. I fucking call it how it is, and I will swear. Right, that's just who I am. Right, I swear like a fucking trooper on this. Right. That's why I like Avasarala, because she's the same. And that's why I love her. I do. I think she's awesome.
She is. So, yeah, they're just threatening everyone, dropping rocks on them, which is going to cause a lot of issues.
Drummond I like as well. I like the
drummer. Yeah.
I like her. She's good. Again, powerful female characters, and it doesn't feel woke because they are written that way and they're written believably. Bobby is kick-ass.
Bobby is not as tall as she is in the book. In the book, she's built like a unit in the book. She's built like the Rock in the book. That's the picture. You get like the picture of a rock with a woman's head and a set of boobs on it.
But Bobby in this is fucking. She's a powerful girl. She is a big girl.
She's a big girl, but she needs to. She's bigger. She's bigger than Amos in the books.
She is in this. She's a big. She's fucking
not
half Harry,
Amos is bigger, but the long and short of it is she's a good character. She's enjoyable, and when she's made captain of the Rocinante at one point, and has a great day because they fucking impound the ship on the same day she's made captain. She does it one day, fucks the ship. Anyway, this I think is the death of Fred Johnson. I think that they've mixed two bits together because at the beginning of the story, I can't remember if it was Babylon Ashes or Nemesis Games, a Martian captain is going through the ring gate, and as you're going through the ring gate, something happens, and these things appear. And then they just take the fucking ship apart, like they did, like the proto-molecule did with the thing you put on a different whale. They turn them into gas rather than break them into pieces. And this is the first kind of sign that you can see that the aggressor species are, how can I put it, aware of us. And the problem is that doesn't feature very much in the book. Annoyingly. I like it, but I think they're going to use that to kill Fred Johnson because...
I think you might see more of the aggressor species in this. I mean, I still worryingly haven't heard about a season 6 yet. It's got to have a season 6. It's got to have a season 6. But season 4 did pretty well, and this has caused quite a lot of. There's been a lot of sort of positive stuff. I mean, what's this? It's already had 500,000 views, and look at the fucking likes versus the hates.
Oh my god, 173 people did
Star Trek Discovery. Star Trek Discovery. Are you looking at this? Are you looking at this? Alex Kratzman. Are you looking at this?
Yeah.
and look, it has powerful female characters. Look, it's got gay characters. Look, it's got all that shit that you put in it. Well, what's the difference? This is written well.
Yeah. But it's gonna be
awesome.
It's gonna be
season 4 was brilliant. And I can't wait. I am not ashamed to say I properly chimped out on this.
Yeah, it's I love the Expanse. The Expanse is fantastic, and December 16th, it's out, and then they'll do the 3. I think is it 3 and then 1 a week, or is it 1 a week?
It's 3. They're going to give you the first 3 like they did with the boys, and then we're going to get 1 a week after that. So it's a 7-week run effectively because it's 10 episodes. So you'll get the first 3, and then you'll get the consecutive weeks of 1 episode, which is what a lot of these streaming companies, with the exception of Netflix, seem to be doing. Apple TV does the same thing with their stuff as well, because they've had the long way up, which I've been watching sauce, again.
Pasta sauce.
Yeah, no, I get.
Some people want it weekly, some people want it all at once. So
no, I understand it. But you have that choice. You wait, but then you get spoilers. I know.
Okay. Sorry. I was going to say, okay, we've chimped out enough about the Expanse. I think it's time we moved on to something else.
Boing.
Lots of PS5 stuff here. I know that we're getting the whole back and forth between them and Xbox, and they did a tech teardown. So they opened up their PS5 and they showed everyone, what it looks like on the inside. So the first thing is, come on.
Oh, do you like that? Do you like that? Do you like what's inside? Oh, do you like it, mate?
Hang on a second. First thing is,
look how big is it?
How fucking big is that's the size of my chest? These are I'm hoping that's a midget. Please be a fucking midget.
Okay, without wishing to sound, prejudiced and slightly racist, Japanese people do tend to be shorter. It's not.
No, I mean, extremely short, mate. I mean,
but I've seen this. I've seen what is supposedly a life-size model of one of these things, and it's fucking huge.
Yeah.
It's big. I mean, look at it.
There you go. Look at that. Look at that. It looks like he's got a child on the desk next to him.
It's big.
It is a
It is
big,
big.
big,
I
board.
thankfully I've got a 2.5 meter long desk here, so I can fucking fit it on here. But Jesus Christ, it's big.
That's a big console. That is a big console.
Yeah.
They showed off all the
beastie.
sockets and bits and the air vents and whatnot. And this is the bit I actually like, yeah, because I have a stand for my PS4 because I keep it on its side for air because of the fan noise pissed me off on my original PS4. So I got a slim because the sound isn't as bad, I was told, and it's still fine. But you have this here. You got this nice little stand here, which you got a screw on and whatnot. And then you unscrew it, and it's got a nice little box and this, that, and the other. They've really thought this through. Yeah, they've really thought this through, and they've gone, hey, look, we can put that in there and hide all that stuff away here. And then if you clip it on the bottom, and then you put it up like that, it's still fucking huge. It's huge. It's the biggest console we've ever made, as in like physically big. It is huge. Microsoft took the piss out of them for this because Sony gives a free stand with a bolt and everything in it, so you can have it in any way ever. And Microsoft went, "Oh, just lay it down on its side." I don't want to sound rude or anything. The Microsoft console looks shit on its side. Do not lay it down on its side. If you've got one, put it up on to have it standing on its end. It looks better. It looks so much fucking sweeter on that.
This thing looks a better monolith than it does on its side.
Right.
I just don't know how the hell I'm going to show it, but
hang on a second.
I'm going to have the thing on every time I make a YouTube video.
Right, my wife has pointed out something.
Tanith, why did you have to say that? Because you know what? He's going to misquote you now. You know what his ego's like. He's going to misquote you every 5 minutes.
I told her it was big. I told her
he's going to fucking print it and put that on a fucking t-shirt. You know it. You know it. If anybody is,
Thank you, Keith. You've just given me an idea. I didn't have that.
Oh, bullshit.
I wasn't thinking about putting
that on a t-shirt.
On a t-shirt. I'm going to have, you didn't tell me it was this. It was that big. Yeah. On a t-shirt. And then I'm going to put hashtag PlayStation 5.
Or just a little arrow pointing down.
Yeah. It's, but yeah, they took the piss out of them for the stand, and it's like kind of, I don't want to sound rude or anything, guys. When they took the piss out of you for game sharing, that was because you did something wrong. This doesn't look wrong. Yeah, and don't put your Xbox One on its side. It looks shit. Stand it upright, like a waste paper bin or a fridge. It looks like that.
I have to admit, right? I was umming and ahhing about this, and I can probably get one on release day when they come. Because they'll be available here. I'm going to get one. I've kind of come to. I had a lot. Me and Gav have been playing a lot of No Man's Sky, and recently we had like a fucking massive sesh last night, and I'm enjoying it.
Afternoon for me, I'd have you know.
Well, yeah, I know, but it was fucking 6 hours. We were online for about 6 hours.
Yeah.
I'm up for it.
I felt a bit bad. I felt a bit bad for Nige because Nige contacted me later and he turns around and goes, "Are you up for a session?" It's like, kind of, dude, I've been on like fucking all afternoon. I have to surrender the TV. Just like to point out, that was my wife's response. Thanks, darling. But yeah, it looks cool. One of the things I noticed is you've got the panels come off quite easily. And they have these little sections in here for the dust goes into them and you just clear out the sections. So if you've got a little Dyson Hoover like I've got, you just pop it in there and you can clean the dust out quite easily. Which is a nice touch. I like that. Then you got the SSD slot. So you can put your SSD in there because the Mark Cerny or David Carney, Dana Carney, sorry. Dana Carvey. Yes, the one from Wayne's World that you don't like. He knows that the hard drive speeds for SSDs will get quicker. So the future planning is that they put
they put an NVMe. They've done an NVMe board, which is just future proof for a few years. That
I thought, oh god, no one's used future proofing since 2009. Didn't last because it wasn't very future proof.
Oh yeah, NVMe is going to be around for a while.
And then you've got hang on a second. And then you got the fan here, and this is the bit I quite like. Yeah, the fan looks replaceable. So if the fan breaks or the fan starts making noise, you can pop it out and pop another one in there.
A lot of people have already given this like a reasonably high repair score thanks to this. Unlike Apple products, this thing's been given a quite. I mean, well, look at it. You just have to watch this teardown. You know anything about stuff? It's hang on, this is just screws. There's no fucking glue. Okay, that looks like the fucking Avengers carrier fucking engine. But it's, I like what I saw from this. There was another reason why I looked at it when this is. You see, the thing is, I like. To me, the first editions of any PlayStation are always the best built because they just are. They are the best built. They might also have some more issues than the later models, but they're always the best built. You know, you look at the original PlayStation 4, it just feels robust, whereas the Slim, it's a better system inside, but it's cheaper on the outside. Do you know what I mean?
I've got a Slim, and I wouldn't say that. I've got a Slim, and I've got a Slim PS3, and both of them, they have optimized, I think is the best word for it.
The Slim PS3 felt a shitload cheaper than the original. That original high gloss looking PS3 was much nicer. I suspect the same will happen with all, because it's always happened with all the PlayStations. But this thing, I like the look of this. I know a lot of people gave it shit. I like the design of it. I think it looks cool. I do
like the fact that apparently the panels that come off, they've given people information so they can do 3D printing. So people can custom print 3D things. So it looks a bit like Eric Cantona with the collar up, which is a reference not many people are going to get. Do you know what I mean? Where Eric Cantona, that's what it looks like. This console is Eric Cantona in console form. The question is it going to fucking, what do you call it, karate kick a person in the stands? Which was the one thing he's famous for. And then they go through all the stuff here, and you get the board out, and I want to show you the fucking heat sink on this bastard. Yeah, so that's not very exciting. But he shows the heat sink. Yeah, so you got the thing for the thing, and you got the chip there with all the bits in. So there's your ready and thing. This is pretty. Having this kind of arrangement of RAM is pretty. It's unnecessary, but it's pretty, and I kind of appreciate that. And then they show off the hard drive, which is these two chips. So this is the SSD. I don't know if it's those three chips actually. That's the SSD, which makes you go, really? Wow. And then you got the SSD controller, which needs a bigger set of pins for it. And then where is I want to show you the heat thing, because the heat sink. So they put liquid metal on it, and here's the heat sink. Yeah.
Look at that fucker.
Fuck me, is that a big heat sink? Look at the size of the heat sink on that. That might be something I nerd speak. Look at the size of the heat sink on that. That's a ton of, that looks like copper. That's a lot of fucking copper.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's a big old bastard.
It was a very interesting video. And fuck off Microsoft. It was an interesting video.
Well, there's rumors that the Xbox One X runs really hot, and that's just playing Xbox One games.
It's got the Apple trash can design, and in theory, that was a very good design. But it depends on where you place the damn thing. And when I saw how it was going to cool, I was looking at that going. One fan at the top design, same as the trash can. In theory, on paper, it was a good design, but there was always the reports of the Pro overheating, and the fact that you couldn't upgrade it and that kind of thing. But again, the Xbox One X or whatever it is, fucking series, Xbox X series, Jesus Christ. I don't know. The S looks better designed for cooling, certainly, than the more expensive one. No offense, Nigel. The S does just look thermally better.
With his massive pimple on the side, I think is the best way of describing it. Okay, so the other stories that came out was the storage space on the hard drive, and this is the bit that kind of bugs me, because this is a similar problem that I'm going to have with the S series. That's that the hard drive isn't going to be the size that they put it forward. So someone's put a picture up on Imgur. It's in, I don't know if it's in Greek or Russian. It's probably Russian, which says there's 664 gigabytes. I think, I can't tell. Just by looking at the picture alone, 4 storage space. The rest is for the operating system and like swap file sort of thing, which I didn't think it needed because of the speed of the hard drive. I thought you used the RAM as a swap file, but I could be wrong. So there's that there. But saying that, the promise of smaller games for 4K stuff is a thing at the moment. So because of the speed of those hard drives, you don't need as much space, and you should be switching through. That worries me. That does worry me a bit in regards to storage space, because I've got a PS4 Slim with a terabyte SSD on it, and it's just right. It is just right.
You can buy. It wouldn't surprise me if that's what you get usable space wise. I mean, you can buy an extra drive, NVMe drives.
Western, I think it's Western Digital, not Western Digital. Western Digital or Seagate have already come out with a drive that Sony have tested and said that will work.
Yeah,
and it has pretty fast speeds on it. But he said that they developed the hard drive knowing that the hard drive companies would develop something faster later. So we can expand to the faster later one. So you could even put something in that's faster than the actual hardware of the console. So I think they're really planning on building a Pro from that sounding. Anyway, it's annoying because this story here, something that Nigel would love. Dreamcast Mini. I think I just touched. No, I didn't. Phew. Dreamcast Mini console. I think I'd do that. Do you remember me and you were around for the Dreamcast launch, weren't we?
We were.
We were working in a game shop, weren't we, before we had proper jobs?
Yes, where we. Of course, I remember those times. We were upstairs cleaning away cardboard. No, we weren't. We were dressing.
No,
me up
you were
Dalek.
in the cardboard pretending to be a Dalek, if I remember correctly.
You fucking dressed me up. You put a box on my head, and I went.
You were sitting there. You're sitting there going like this with like stickers, and just taking your time. And I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake, Keith. So I was just like, bump, and then I came back, and you're like, I'm a Dalek. Sega are planning to launch a mini console. Looks like a reincarnation of the Dreamcast, so that's good. Worried about what games they'll have on it, because that's always the thing with
Taxi. He's got to have Taxi. He's got to have what's its face?
Crazy Taxi. The problem with Crazy Taxi is I've got a version of Crazy Taxi, and it doesn't have the music from the original version that was on the PS2 and on the Dreamcast. I don't know if it was on the GameCube. Music-wise,
that was the one that we had in the booth a lot.
Oh yeah, that was one we had in the booth that we always used to have a go on. And Dave was like, "Kind of, you do this, you press these buttons here, and that does the launch." And I'm like, "Oh, right, cool." That's a different Dave. We have Dodgy Dave and Struggling Author.
There's always there's loads of Daves. There's just Daves everywhere. Daves.
The world's full of Daves. Okay, so let's go through these ones quickly, because one is a bit self-indulgent on my part, and the other one is like one of the games that I was kind of curious about. I'm not going to say looking forward to. I'm not going to say massively excited, but I'm going to say curious about. Was a game called Outriders.
I saw this week.
Squeenix game, and it's annoying because there's games that I want to play on the PlayStation 5 and it doesn't look like I have fucking any, which is pissing me off. But Outriders have been delayed till February. Square Enix is looking at it.
The good thing is, right, I mean, it was funny because because we've been playing a lot of No Man's Sky, and I saw what it's going to potentially look like on the PS5, and it's going to look beautiful. It's going to be because you're seeing all these fucking No Man's Sky videos at the moment on YouTube. They're all on the PC, and the graphics looks just so much better. I mean, those fucking volcano worlds look so much better. And I think that's part of the problem. I think they've made this game now for next-gen consoles and PCs, and that's why it keeps fucking up on my PS4. It's really annoying because it's a really good game now, and it's glitchy as fuck. But it looks good on the PS5, so we can just fucking carry on with that until they bring out some decent titles. And we're going to get Miles Morales. We're going to spooge on that.
That's That's the only PS5 game I'm looking forward to at the moment.
It's the only fucking game I'll bother buying with it. I'll just keep, I've got I'm going to buy the DVD. I know, even though I said this the other week, I will buy the one with the DVD drive because it kind of makes sense. Because if I can play my PS4 games on it, it makes sense. They've released this week it's like 8 games that are not going to work on the PS5 out of all the
Out of
fucking
4,000 they tested.
Yeah, eight games. I mean, so look, this thing is backwards compatible like never before. So it just makes sense to buy the CD-ROM. If I was going to buy the Xbox, which I might, it's the S for me because again, that makes sense because I haven't got the previous one for a long while. But with the PS5, I will buy the one with the CD-ROM. And if you're watching Babster or you do watch this and you go, I like that. Who bought a digital copy? Just who bought a digital copy? So don't. I didn't give you lots of shit about that. So don't give me shit about this.
Yeah. Okay. It's when it comes to the Xbox One and the PlayStation, I think there are 2 trains of thought, and one is the PlayStation. I think is probably more focused on the physical media side of it, and the Xbox is going to be focused on the games service side of it. And it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. I kind of like games as a media, as having medium. I do have 329 digital games in my library for my PS4.
Wow.
Which I found quite amusing, but sorry, I killed my bloody audio cable. So yeah, that's interesting. Anyway, let's move on to our next story before we get on to talking about the boys and bits. Nintendo have a calf at the Nintendo theme park, and they've got food, and it looks mad as shit. So we've got like this here, all right? This is a pancake sandwich, yeah. Now I watch Disney Food Blog and some other ones, but that looks fucking awesome.
That does, I'll give you that. It looks calorific, but it does.
Oh, dude,
nice.
that's me in a diabetic coma for a week eating that. that's definitely edge. I don't know what that fella is, but
my wife doesn't like sweet stuff, but I think she'd like that because it's got strawberries, and she fucking loves strawberries.
And then you've got these drinks here. The mustaches come with it. Like a
brilliant,
like a lime and cherry kind of drink there. That looks awesome. Toad thing. This is the Universal.
I want that cup. I want that cup. I want that cup. Oh, that's awesome.
They're what do you call it? They're planning on putting one of these at Universal, and if they do it as good as they did Harry Potter World, and I think they have, given the fact that the stuff that I've seen coming out of Japan, it's going to be the shit. It really is. I think that might be the thing of it there. It's just that
looks like I've seen some. This is I've seen this. It looks so cool.
Nintendo Land.
Oh, it looks cool. It does look good. It's the we're planning on, because this is in Japan, right?
Yes, it's in Japan.
Yeah, planning on going there.
Dude, it's going to give me the fucking loan because it's that expensive.
When all the shit is over with, we're going to Japan, and I'm going to visit that. I'm going to visit some theme parks there because I promised my wife. So I'm going to Nintendo Land. It's got to be done. It's got to be done. I probably will need sell my fucking car, but yeah, that too.
Okay, all right. Let's talk about the boys. All right. Firstly, season 2 wasn't as good as season 1.
Yeah,
and it all falls down to Billy Butcher. I think that's where it falls down. The Billy Butcher character. He was fine until he found out his wife was still alive, because that was a big motivating factor in him. Because his wife was one of these people who kind of kept him from being a violent arsehole, and he's not a violent arsehole, which is a problem. Because there were shades of it where he was becoming a violent arsehole. We were like, oh, are we going to get the actual Billy Butcher? Will he stand forth? There's a bit at the end where he picks up the crowbar and he's like, is he going to kill the kid? And I'm like, oh shit. And I'm watching it going, oh shit, like that. And I said it out loud. And my wife was going, what? And I'm going, oh, shit. And it's like, kind of, well, his wife's dead. The kid killed him. He's got a crowbar. Do the math. Yeah. Maths. Sorry, English. And it's like, there's a chance he might smash the kid's head in with the crowbar. He did kill the fetus that killed her in the comic book, because she dies because she gets pregnant, and it literally happens overnight. There's the fuck up with the Black Noir character. We did get a partial face reveal. It looked more like it was Giancarlo What's his mush who plays Eggers.
It's a different actor. It is a different actor, but who's playing him under the thing. But yeah, I hope that comes back. But I sneakingly suspect it isn't. No, I agree with you. Season 2 has just not been as good. There hasn't been the comedic level that there was in the first series. There hasn't been the for a show with superheroes. There wasn't a lot of superhero stuff in it. Yeah. And the team just didn't feel a team at all throughout all of this.
They didn't take out many soups.
And they didn't take out any soups. They didn't take out any other than, the only, the whole idea of the boys is that they take out soups, and that just didn't happen. I mean, okay, they only took out a couple in the fucking first season, but the first season just, didn't feel as good. As now having watched the whole thing complete, it just didn't have the fun of the first season. And
there were some crap politics in there. They've got
I actually think I preferred the Umbrella Academy season 2 to this, which is a shame because I enjoyed season 1 of The Boys.
What was it? Umbrella Academy. I think it was. What was it? 5/7 of that I preferred.
Yeah. No, I know where you're coming from on that. The one thing, because towards the end of it, I thought, hang on, the way they were going it was almost like they were wrapping the whole thing up. And it was only when we got the only thing I will say is that the senator reveal was, or whatever she is, that was quite good. That was
right. Hang on a second. That's one of the politic bits that annoy me, because that senator's based off a real life senator who was as thick as shit.
Oh, I know.
Do you know who AOC?
I know.
Is?
Yes, I know who Andrew. But yes, I know exactly who AOC is. Yes, and I know she's thick as shit. She's one of the 4. I know who she is.
One of the fucking 4 horsemen.
Yeah. But I'm not getting political. I'm just not. But I know who she is, and yeah, she is thick as shit. That's about the only thing I'm going to say. But I did like the twist because I didn't see it coming, and I thought, oh, that's quite cool.
I was hoping it was going to be a Compound V thing. I was hoping it was going to be a case of the Fresca drink that people were drinking had Compound V in it, and like in the story where they had the Russians in the warehouse, there was a trigger, so you could set the thing off using a radio frequency. So anyone who had one of those drinks that the Scientologists were having were susceptible to having the head exploded off, and Eggers would be behind it. They've introduced a character who didn't exist.
Why they even cast him? Because they tragically underused him in this whole season.
He was there for 2 days of shooting. You know that, don't you?
Well, yeah.
That guy was there for 2 days of fucking shooting. They got him for 2 days.
Probably filming. It's probably too busy filming season 2 of The Mandalorian. But I was trying to like all of it, and I just, I didn't. Not really.
There was a shooter at the beginning of the 6th or 7th episode. I can't remember which I didn't like.
No, it was just that it was a terrible stereotype, and it just didn't ring true. Starlight getting killed was kind of good, but again, they made this whole. Because of the times we were living in, the Nazi thing felt a bit cliche. And I know that that's part of the comic book to an extent, not quite the same way, because one boy in the comic. I don't know. Look, it was one of the more entertaining things that's been on recently, and I watched it, and I didn't dislike it. I love the bit with when the kid's getting the car and Butcher goes, "Now what did I tell you?" and you expect the kid to go be good. And he goes, "Don't be a cunt." I thought that did make me laugh. That did make me laugh. And you know, every time Butcher's swearing like that, it did make me laugh. The bit where he's facing up Black Noir and he realizes the camera and he just turns down and goes, "Oh, hello, cunt," like that, and that made me laugh as well. But it wasn't as comedic or as fun as the first season. I mean, the first season was dark, but it had its fun elements, like when they were killing Soups. When they were going up against Soups and killing them, this and the whole sort of the three females kicking the shit out of what's her face.
My wife was watching that and she went, "Oh," she went, "I know why that other woman's turned up." And he went, "Why is the other woman turned up?" "Because today you couldn't have that woman being beaten up by a group of men. Now could you?"
No.
And I'm like, even my wife is now picking up on the shit. And the thing that fucked me off, is that the Butcher should have, when they got him in the forest, he should have caved her fucking head in with that crowbar.
Yeah, but he can't because she's super strong as well. I mean,
no, I'm sure he's fucking.
He should have blown her up with fucking Frenchie's invention, but they blew that up in the car, didn't they? I wanted to see that happen. He should have bazookaed the bitch. And they make her out to be the most hateful Nazi on the planet. But of course, there's going to be some woke fucker on Twitter who's going to go, "Oh, look, more fucking violence towards women." Oh, fuck off.
Yes.
I was sitting there. I was thinking about it last night about how J.K. Rowling used to be the darling of the woke world. And now just because she said, these people's brains must just crash. And when they reboot, they just, oh, God.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So we haven't done this in a while. Boys season 2 out of 10.
5.
Oh, okay. I don't feel so bad at giving it 6 now. I thought you were going to be 7, but I went for 6.
No, because I don't.
It's better than normal TV.
Yes.
By a whisker. So that's why it gets a 6 rather than a 5.
I would agree with you. But there's just been things on that I've been watching that I've enjoyed more, which has nothing to do with this. So the thing is, right, Apple TV, the wokeness of Apple TV, right? Everything has to have some fucking powerful woman in it. And somehow the most boys thing ever, Long Way Up, where 2 men with a bunch of other men go on a fucking road trip on motorbikes, is on Apple TV. Doesn't make any sense.
The worst thing is that viewing figures will be up for that. So next you'll be getting Amy Schumer and some obnoxious fucking American comedian doing exactly the same.
I don't know. I mean, maybe, but I've enjoyed. I kind of enjoyed the long because they're calling them the one because there's 3 of them now. But this has been good. It's been good. Yeah. And by the way, all these people giving Ewan McGregor shit about how he left his wife, all you have to do is watch The Long Way Down and watch The Long Way Round and to understand maybe why he left his wife. Just saying. Never watched them, and you might go, I'm not going to say anything, just watch them.
And on that, it's time to go to our what the fuck? Oh, sorry. Press the button. I love these stories. These stories always make me smile. It's usually a mum.
I've read the headline. I've just looked down and seen the picture of that fucking lamb.
Okay,
all right. So happy.
So hang on a second. Woman mortified after Labrador finds sex toy during walk and won't let it go. We had a similar story a while back. So the worst thing is that dog looks so proud of itself. That dog looks like it has properly found the stick, shall we say?
Today I had this thing today. I don't know if my wife got this on video. She might have done actually. We went to this. In Asia, they have these things called pet cafes where you go and they've got like these sort of pets inside where you can go and stroke pets and things like that. And we just stopped off there because they wanted to know what it was. And she made me go into where they had all these huskies and Siberians, and I'm sitting down on this thing and all these dogs are surrounding me. and she's filming it, and then two of them start fucking. Literally,
Okay.
and push me off the seat. This dog, there's the other one. There's these big dogs, and one going at it with the other one. It's pushed me off the seat. I'm like, so it made me laugh so much today. Go on, please finish the story.
Sorry. It's no secret that when a dog finds a toy they love, it's pretty tricky to get it off of them. Unfortunately for one dog walker, the pooch that they were taking care of rather liked an embarrassing item. Clara Robson was out walking a Labrador named Charlie and thought he was playing with a stick. He looked like he was having great fun, so she decided to snap a photo to send it to her owner. Upon closer inspection, she soon realized that the 1-year-old pup had actually found a sex toy and was carrying around in her mouth. Yeah. She spent 15 minutes trying to get the toy off of him.
Please.
Oh dear. Sorry. There you go. Doesn't that dog look happy? I think it's it looks purple. It looks purple. I don't know.
Dear Christ.
It's the look on the dog's. That dog is so proud of itself. Oh my god. Yeah. Clara shared the photo of Charlie and his unusual find on social media, where it generated a lot of attention and got more than 2,000 likes. Good for you. She said he ran downhill. Sorry, dry mouth. He ran down a hill at the time. I didn't realize, but when he came back, I didn't realize it until he came back up within his mouth. From a distance, it just looked like a stick. The owner had messaged. Yeah, I think it's the look on that dog is a happy dog. That is such a happy dog.
It's got a giant purple dick in its bucket.
Oh my god! And I'll leave it there.
It looks so happy. This is the first picture of it, because I've loaded it on my screen so I can see it. The first picture of it was just sitting there going, "Look what I've got."
I found something. It's exciting. All right.
Oh dear.
I think it's time we wrap this up and put a bow on it. Have you got anything to say, Keith?
See you next week.
See you next week too. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, not Keith. That was yours, wasn't it?